All right, today's video topic is about potholes and what happens to your car when you hit one. We're going to go over the various damage that could be done and what you can do to notice it and take care of it. All right, so the first item that comes in contact with when you hit a pothole is usually the tire and the rim. So most of the damage is absorbed there. What happens? The tire often can get a cut in the sidewall if it hits the hole too hard. Sometimes it can get so down. So if it's a really big pothole, you can actually damage your rims, especially on tires that have a much narrower sidewall. So if you do hit a pothole and you think you did some damage to your tire or rim, you know, the first thing is you want to come out and examine it and see if there's any cuts or tears. If there's anything like that, you want to get to a shop as soon as you can to get that tire taken care of. You want to make sure it's not losing air. But any kind of compromise in the sidewall, any kind of tear can result in a blowout when you're going down the road. So other things, if the rim is bent, if you see any kind of ding in the rim, that's going to cause a vibration potentially when you're going down the road. So if you see any of that kind of damage, you definitely want to get to your trusted shop and make sure they take a deeper look at it, because there's other things that are possibly damaged underneath, which we'll talk about next. So coming under the vehicle, steering and suspension is one of the biggest concerns when you hit a pothole after your tires and your rims. So steering and suspension, this is the bottom of the control arm, which is connected to the lower ball joint. There's an upper ball joint, there's a shock, there's a tie rod end. All of this stuff can come in. If you hit a bump big enough, that shock can overextend or compress too much and damage the shock where it can actually leak. The ball joint can come loose. A ball joint is a tapered press fit, and if you hit a bump hard enough, it can actually loosen up, and there's no way to tighten it. You have to replace the ball joint. Tie rod end is another thing that can get bent if you hit it hard enough, or the tie rod is also another tapered fit that's pressed in that can come loose. These are all common problems. If the ball joint's loose enough, you can actually, the wheel will actually come off of the vehicle, so it's a very dangerous situation. So when you hit a pothole and you feel any kind of vibration in the front end or any kind of a shake or a pull, that's indicating that you've done some damage to the steering or suspension components. So I wanted to explain a little bit about what a tie rod does. A lot of customers will come in and say, something happened to my tire rod. It's not a tire rod, it's a tie rod. It's T-I-E. And this is a device right here that is connected to your steering wheel. It's a linkage that goes up to your steering wheel, so that when you turn your steering wheel, it pushes on this rod, it pushes the tire out, or it pulls it back in. So if you hit a pothole or something, or you hit something that maybe bends this or jars the tapered fit loose, you could lose control of your wheel, so that when you turn the wheel doesn't respond, it doesn't go anywhere, or sometimes it goes out and it doesn't come back in. Detrimental, you're going to end up in a car accident. But the tie rod's job is to do that. It's responsible for the steering geometry. So if it's loose, it throws the steering geometry off, and if the steering geometry is off, you're going to get vibrations and you're going to have tire wear because your alignment's not going to be into spec. All right, so anytime you've hit a pothole, pay attention to how your car feels. If you feel like it's pulling to one direction or the other, or if it's vibrating or shaking, or if your steering wheel's a little off center when you're going straight down the road, these are all indications that something is wrong, and you should bring it to the shop as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more tips and tricks just like this.